Hello, and welcome to GameSack. I'm Dave.
And I'm Joe.
And we'd first off like to briefly mention that the Nintendo 3DS was released recently, and in my opinion, I like it quite a bit. I think it's time that Nintendo made an upgrade to a new system, and 3D works out really well. They've added a bunch of new features that came built in with the system that are really nice, like Street Pass and some of the built-in games with the AR cards. It's good, but we are not looking forward to the drought of games that's going to happen from now until the holiday season.
No kidding, I'm not looking forward to that either. But I will say that I'm a bit more impressed with the 3DS than I thought I was going to be. I thought it was going to be okay, so I picked it up. You know, I'm just kind of a new console whore, so I like getting things on day one. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised with it. I'm having a lot more fun with it than I thought I was going to, and it's just been fun. Lots of cool built-in games. I like Pilot Wings Resort. I even like Super Monkey Ball 3D, which is really good, but it's way too easy, especially for a Monkey Ball fan like me. But it's pretty good. But now on to the rest of the episode.
Okay, now we're going to talk about differences between the various Street Fighter games on 16-bit consoles.
And we have Street Fighter II Special Champion Edition for the Sega Genesis. We have Street Fighter II Turbo for the Super Nintendo. And we have Street Fighter II Champion Edition for the PC Engine, aka TurboGrafx-16 or Turbo Duo. Let's get down to it. For the Sega Genesis, you had to make sure you had one of these special 6-button controllers, as a normal controller only had 3 buttons, and you'd have to press start to switch between punches and kicks, and that's just stupid. But eventually these 6-button controllers did start coming with the systems, and in my opinion, it's one of the better controllers that has ever existed because they're very, very comfortable, and they even have a mode button. I mean, that's just awesome. Alright, for the Super Nintendo, you already have a pad that has all 6 buttons for all your full arsenal of moves, but granted, 2 of them are on the shoulder, which I personally don't like doing, but a lot of people don't have a problem with that. But this is an ASCII pad, but every Super Nintendo controller has the same standard configuration of buttons ready to go. For the PC Engine, TurboGrafx-16, Turbo Duo, Super Graphics, whatever your variation of the system is called, you will want an Avenue Pad 6, which is special, and then switch it up to B to enable 6-button mode. If you don't have this pad and are stuck with the normal 2-button controller, well, I'm not sure what you'd have to do to play the game, so let's check the manual for some clarification. You can use this one, or this one, but in order to use a 2-button pad, you have to follow these instructions right here. So that seems pretty simple. Please note that we're not looking at Super Street Fighter 2 in this episode, so with that said, let's play these games!
I win again.
Alright, after a thorough playthrough of all 3 versions of Street Fighter 2 that we have, here's what we think. First, we'll hear from Dave.
Well, in my opinion, which, as we know, is always right, this is what I think. The PC Engine version of Street Fighter 2 is my least favorite of the 3. Firstly, the game is not on a Nintendo system. The control on this game is fine, and the sound effects are fine. The music seems a bit more shallow than its competitors, as if it's got one less channel of sound dedicated to the music. Also, this game was only released in Japan and parts of Asia, so if you were in the USA, you didn't even know this version existed, unless you were a hardcore gamer and wanted to spend the extra coins to import. In second place is the Sega Genesis version, which also isn't on a Nintendo system. The control is fine with this game, and after 20 years of this game being on the system, I've actually grown to like the 6 buttons on the face of the pad as a preferred method of control. The quality of the music is enjoyable, but the sound effects are where this version fails. It sounds like everything is being said while gargling mouthwash just before going to sleep. I mean, just listen to those elephants. The definitive version of Street Fighter II is the turbo version on the SNES. Firstly, it's on the SNES. Back in 1992, I thought the SNES pad was the best pad out there, even for a 6-button fighter like this. All my friends played this version. Joe wasn't my friend back then. Well, not my real friend anyways. Back to the game. Graphically, it's on par with the PC Engine and the Genesis. The sound effects are nice, clean, and clear. The music is outstanding in all of its reverberating glory. I can't imagine anyone not picking this version as the clear winner. And this should be good for a laugh, but Joe, what do you think?
Well, here's what I think. In second place is the Super Nintendo version. I just don't appreciate the controller. Granted, you can buy a better one, but I don't want to do that for just one game. The gameplay is fine and everything is well done, but doing the special moves can be difficult, especially when I must do a tricky maneuver with the D-pad combined with the L button. It's just not natural. What's this? What kind of car is so weak that some dude can just smash it to pieces with his bare foot? The music sounds great, but the voices are kind of muffled, which is par for the course on the Super Nintendo. Still, this game set the standard for all the other versions, and the artwork on those versions are based directly on this version, not the arcade. Tied for second place is the PC Engine TurboGrafx-16 Turbo Duo version. You do need to buy a special controller to take full advantage of it, but I'm okay with buying a controller just for one game since this isn't a Nintendo system. However, the control seems to be a bit stiff compared to the other two controllers for the other two systems. Oh, the car's in this version too, poor thing. The music sounds thin, but it's not too terribly bad, and the voices are definitely the best amongst the three versions. The graphics look good, but are missing a layer of scrolling. While that doesn't affect the gameplay, it is noticeable. Just where the hell is the fence in this stage, for example? In first place is the Sega Genesis Special Champion Edition. The gameplay is fantastic with the Sega 6-button controller, which can be used on many other games designed to take advantage of it. Perfect control means better gameplay. There's that damn car again. The music is really beefy, but those voices really do leave a lot to be desired. You do notice some reduced colors compared to the other two versions, but since this game is on a Sega system, I think I can overlook that completely and disregard it since Sega is the best. This game is so fantastic that it even features a white dude getting his face smashed in the opening cutscene, which neither the Super Nintendo nor the TurboGrafx-16 were powerful enough to replicate. Yo, dude! Alright, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back soon for more video gaming goodness.
And we will find out what is in the game sack next week.
Ooh.
3D. Ooh. Feel it.
So much depth.